Testing, testing. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully it's working. Give me some chat. Give me some chat. Are we here? Okay, we're here. We're here. People, welcome back to my playback channel. Hope you guys are all good and ready for some Mohamed Salah chat. Good. Some thumbs up. As you guys know, there may be some technical issues as I try to work all this out because I'm trying to go live on YouTube as well. Let's see how this works. And if not, then we'll be live on here only. How do I do this? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Let me get some people. Okay, listen, people, start getting your requests in if you want to chat, inviting people to the stage. Sam, I will need your help. I'm going to message you in a little while. I don't know if it's going on to YouTube. But let's see how we get on. As you can see, we're all about the Mohamed Salah chat today. Here we go. We have Mohamed joining me today as well. Hopefully it'll come through in a minute. It is on YouTube, but is it live streaming on YouTube? Floundering Felipe? Let me know. Mohamed, are you there? Mohamed, are you there? Live. A little delay to what's going on right now. Okay. He needs to unmute. Mohamed, you're on mute, apparently. Okay, let's try again. People, whoever wants to join in, can join in. You can join in. If you've joined the page, you can join in. So send your requests. I will accept, and we can take it from there. Mohamed,
Hello, can you hear me this time?
We can hear you, my bro. How are you doing?
Yes, loud and clear.
Loud and clear, my brother. How you doing? You good?
Not too bad, my bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, bro.
We've got so much to get into, my bro. But first and foremost, let people know, man, your team, where you calling, well, not calling from, joining me from. And let people know, man, what's your Twitter handle so they can follow you as well.
So my name's Mohamed, 1892 on Twitter. So my user tag on Twitter is mabdi23. I'm a Liverpool fan, supported Liverpool my whole entire life. And you're right, Grizz, we've got so much to discuss. So much has happened.
Listen, just when we thought our season's fizzling out, and the way it's fizzling out is a shame.
Yeah.
Because I was on a couple of shows this morning and today, and everyone's trying to get a hot take and a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a wild take, and expecting us to lose our heads over the Salah incident, the way the season's ending, the Klopp leaving, everything. And the way I described it, and I'm gonna get your opinion and everyone else's opinion, I'm just sad, bro. This is just a sad ending. That's the best way I can describe. My vocabulary is limited, so bro, I'm just gonna call it 3-letter word: sad.
Bro, I think that's the only word that you can really describe it with, because it has been a beautiful fairy tale journey, but it's just had a very sad ending. And you know what? Usually when you watch a nice, beautiful movie, it's usually got a happy ending and it's all fun and games at the end and everyone's in love. But unfortunately, and quite typically with Liverpool, it always kind of ends a little bit sad. And that's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt on Saturday. That's exactly how I felt after the Everton match at Goodison. It's just a really sad time. And of course, with the Salah incident with Klopp, he just added an extra layer on top, an extra layer of sadness. And
that we didn't need.
And we really didn't need. And I'm seeing a lot of discourse online, and you're absolutely right, where people are trying to run with narratives. And we live in a society now where you need to make the most outlandish and boyish statements so you can get more clicks and more likes and more follows. This is the world.
Tell me about it, my brother. Preach.
We live in a world of clout, so everyone's going to be jumping on one bandwagon to another bandwagon. But in actual fact, you can clearly see that these are two elite winners with a huge mentality, and the situation that they're in, obviously, they're not going to be happy about it. So clearly, there's going to be a lot of tension behind closed doors and on the pitch. Listen, Mohamed Salah is, he's the greatest right winger in Premier League history. The greatest, the best.
Simple
as that, full stop. He's the greatest ever that we've ever seen. One of the best Liverpool players ever. He's a Liverpool Football Club legend. And his performances recently, since he's come back from that injury, have been very, very subpar. They've been very, very poor, especially during this run-in when we've needed them. And he knows that. He's no fool. He's no mug. Do you know what I mean? He's clearly upset himself at the lack of output and effect that he's had for the team. So, and Klopp on the other hand, of course, he's leaving at the end of the season. Do you think this is the way that he wants the goals? Doubt it. I'm sure he wants to go out winning a trophy, a proper trophy. Okay, we won the Carabao Cup, but one of the big ones.
It's a combination, isn't it, Mohamed? It's a combination. Everything that you've said is spot on. They're winners. They're battle-hardened warriors. They all both had ambitions of having a magnificent season, and we're an emotional club, an emotional fan base, an emotional players, an emotional, manager. Everything is about emotion with us. So therefore, when emotions boil over, why are people surprised? Why are people surprised? People are joining us slowly and gradually. People, make sure you've liked and subscribed if you're on the YouTube. Make sure you've joined the page if you're on playback. The link is in the description. People are saying, are you from Liverpool, Mohamed?
Yes.
Some of the questions coming through now. Scouse Marley.
Oh, now I can. See, I'm new to this app, so
it's gonna listen. We're gonna work this out together, my bro.
Yeah,
we're gonna have teething problems, guys. Don't go overboard with the criticism. You guys know I'm not with technology, but I've got brother Mohamed is gonna help me and assist me. We'll work it out slowly.
We'll work together.
There's gonna be teething problems, man. Come on, we're not Microsoft. We don't work for Microsoft out here, man. We're gonna work our way through it. Mohamed is the Scouse Marley, they're saying.
Scouse Marley, born and bred, Liverpool, lived in Toxteth, Liverpool my whole entire life.
Okay, Toxteth, yeah? Okay.
Yes, proud Scouser, man. Love it, yeah, can't complain. And yeah, I live in a city with the best football team in the world. So, do you know what? I'm privileged. And I'm very
absolutely, and rightly so as well. Guys, don't forget, this platform is all about interaction. Big up girls in the building. Yes, girl, my man from the Big Six admin team, the tech team, talking about tech. Big up a girl who's doing great things behind the scenes for us, Big Six. He's the one who's helping us stream the FIFA, live FIFA that we play on don't forget, people, every Fridays and every Sunday nights, pro clubs. You know what I mean? I'm telling people how to relax the ball on pro clubs. Everyone's playing frantic football, but I'm there to just relax the ball.
Bro, you need to have a game against the boys because they've got a very good team,
Okay.
An excellent team, I'm telling you. Well, we might have to set that up one day very soon.
We will, man. Listen, we will. Big things planned. People, apparently, look, you guys, okay. Apparently, people can request to chat up on here. But the only way you can request to join us on the stream is becoming members. I'm going to be very annoying for a few weeks, guys. I'm telling you, I'm going to be annoying. I'm going to keep asking you to join because I'm trying to promote this platform. The Watch Playback are helping us out, the Big Six, and each one of us members from the Big Six are making our own channels on this as well. So like, subscribe, and join the channel. And if you join my page, you can come in and chat with us. It's all about your opinions. You don't want to hear me chat shit all the time. I want to hear your opinions, variety. But we're going to be chatting Mohamed Salah and anything else you maybe want to talk about. But today we're trying to focus on the Mohamed Salah news because I'm going to try to do my first screen share technology business. Mohamed, Bismillah. Let's see how this works. Okay, so we have. Hopefully that comes up. Is that coming up?
Smashed it, bro. Yeah, it's
okay. Fantastic. Okay. So this is what we had to deal with today, my bro. Yeah. After yesterday's debacle or incidents, David Ornstein, 11:15 a.m., the man, the legend, probably the best journalist out there in terms of football overall journalist. We know Paul Joyce is the gospel according to Liverpool, but in
Yep.
terms of overall football journalist, you can't get better than David Ornstein. And
Mhm.
he tweets exclusive.
Mhm.
Everyone does this exclusive, brother, with that siren. Serious business when this happens. Liverpool expect Mohamed Salah to stay and are planning with him for at least another campaign. 31-year-old has given no indication of wanting out and contract to be addressed in due course. Saudi view is Salah intends to remain at LFC next season. My bro, your initial reactions when this comes through.
As soon as I seen that, this was my reaction.
Okay.
This is the Egyptian king, Mohammed Salah. Do you know what I mean? Listen, okay, he hasn't been great over the last couple of weeks since his injury, but let's not have short-term memory. Let's not forget what he did the first half of the season. And let me take everyone back on a little journey to the game before he went to AFCON when we played against Newcastle United and how fantastic he was in that game. He was completely and utterly out of this world and unplayable. He was so good, and he had so many great performances before then as well. Mohamed Salah has scored. I'm not 100% sure how many goals. I didn't do my research beforehand. Probably should have. But this season, he's probably scored 25 in all comps.
People in the chat, let us know, man, because we haven't got the stats with us. We didn't come prepared as we should have. But listen, come on, man. Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying, yeah,
casual. Yeah.
roughly about, I wouldn't be surprised if it's about 25
Mm-hmm.
goals, maybe 25 goals and assists. But listen, that output's amazing. I've been saying this for weeks, months, well, since Jurgen Klopp's news came out. As soon as I heard Jurgen Klopp's leaving, I said, the least change that we make to this squad, the better. We're losing such a huge figure. And then, oh my God, bigger than anything, do you know what I mean? Like, Jurgen Klopp is Liverpool Football Club over the last 9 years. He's built us up, do you know what I mean? So, if you're going to lose Jurgen Klopp, you can't be losing your best attacker as well and your franchise player in Mohamed Salah in the same summer. Like that for me is just wild. Like I never thought for a second it would ever happen, apart from Mohamed Salah pushing for a move. And this, Grizz, is where I was a little bit concerned in the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it looked like Salah kind of like, okay, it showed a lot of mentality. He wants to play the game. He's upset with his performances. But part of me was thinking, has he checked out? Does he not want to play for the club no more? That I just had that little ningle in the back of my head. But you know what? This news came out, and I'm delighted because he's the only guy that's scoring. One of them is injured all the time. He can score, but he's always injured. And yeah,
That was the big fear, wasn't it? Look, our only problem, not problem, our only concern and issue, and I'm spot on with you, was has he checked out? Because if he's checked out, then there's an issue.
yes,
But with him, and this is absolutely, people, this has been briefed. This has been absolutely briefed when the likes of Paul Joyce and Ornstein, and to a lesser extent other journalists like sort of David Lynch come out with it as well. Actually, this is absolutely a briefing from the player or someone from his camp.
yeah,
And if Mohamed Salah has come out with fighting talk, that's the kind of news that we wanted, Mohamed, because we
100%.
wanted him to be happy,
100%.
him to want to carry on, because the rest we can overlook then, because the brother has not a little bit of credit in the bank. The brother has huge credit in the bank. My people, we're talking rough. And I agree with your initial point. I'll go as far as saying he's not been good. I think he's been atrocious.
Absolutely.
But there's so many circumstances surrounding that.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a guy who in 7 years, no. I read today, this is his first leg injury of his career.
Big factor.
Do you know what that means? For someone who's a machine and has never had a leg injury, he's had a shoulder injury, he had concussion, he had COVID. He's never had a leg injury. And not only leg injury, a hamstring stroke back injury, which affects the whole dynamic of Mohamed Salah as we know it. Cut him some slack, right?
Yeah, 100%. And you can kind of see it in the way he's been playing as well recently over the last few weeks. He doesn't look as agile. Maybe he's lost a little bit of a yard of a pace. And he doesn't look like he wants to go to the ball in certain positions in certain areas. Maybe there's that subconscious thought in the back of his head.
Yeah.
imagine that injury comes back, because this is his first significant injury that he's had over the last 7 years, and it's massive. But Grace, I was going to say there's a comment in the chat which is actually a very good point, and I wanted to quickly dwell on it. It says Mo Salah would have plenty more assists. He has put so many on the plate for players like Diaz and Nunes. I'm not exaggerating when I say on the plate. Liverpool are top of the league on big chances missed. Top of the league in terms of hitting the top woodwork. Stats don't lie. And you know what? That's from London Mo, and he's hit the nail on the head. He's absolutely right. Mo Salah has been creating a lot of chances, even during his bad form. He has been playing poorly. But the lads on the pitch, Diaz, Nunes, Gakpo, whoever it is, Szoboszlai at Manchester United game at Old Trafford, they haven't taken those chances. And we would be having a completely different conversation right now, me and you, Chris. We would be talking about Liverpool being top of the league with Mohamed Salah's influence on the team. Although he's not scoring goals, he's getting loads of assists. So,
do you know what? I'm actually going to look for that. Have you seen that video going around where the chance is missed? And we can talk while while I try to find that. Hold on, let me work out how to cancel this screen. Let's go back to, hopefully I know what I'm doing. No. I'll work it out, man. I don't want this screen to stay there, obviously. Yeah, no. People in the chat, man. We've got LFC Sai who's up on the stage. LFC Sai, unmute yourself and talk to us, my brother. Hope you're doing well. How are you?
Hi, Chris. Hi, Paji. Salam alaikum.
Salam. How are you?
Good, Chris. See, this news was brilliant, Chris. Really, really brilliant.
You happy?
Yes, I am happy because Klopp leaving, right? Next season there will be some changes. There will be some tough decisions, and we need some characters. We need some big players in the dressing room. And if the manager comes first, easy. So Thiago flees. If he stays, Thiago. These players are too. And see, he's not a. He's an elite player. Elite player. He win 3 golden boots. 2-time player of the year awards. He scored 214 goals in Liverpool. 154 in Premier League goals. He's not a normal player.
Brother Irfan, can you put yourself on mute, please? I'm so sorry, LFC side. Brother Irfan, I know you're new to this platform and all this other thing. Can you put yourself on mute, please? He's a good friend of mine, so I can speak like that to him. Sorry.
No, so can I not talk now?
No, you can. You can talk, but just put yourself on mute because another brother is talking. Thank you very much.
All right, okay.
Don't let me block you on every platform. Sorry, LFC side.
See, he's a
brilliant player. You're on mute, brother.
No, I can hear you now?
Have I muted?
Hello.
No, you're on mute.
No. Can you hear me now?
Have I muted him?
No, I don't think you have.
Yes.
I think this was what happened to me before. LFC side, if you you're back now.
I think you're back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, go for it. Carry on.
Brought him. He's who found out in Roma. He will see, definitely Michael Edwards wants him and he will stay. See, the issue between Klopp and it's done. But what I did going to the home, and he said, if I speak, it will fire. That
you know, if I was pose the question to you, LFC about that comment.
See, if we didn't say anything, the story wouldn't be this likeness. Really.
Do you think
it will be under the carpet?
Do you think it was a little bit taken out of context in terms of him saying they will be fired? Do you think he meant you guys are going to spin a narrative with your media talk and you're going to make something that was nothing into something? Or do you think Mo Salah meant, if I talk to you right now, or do you think, sorry, there's
can whoever's not talking, please go on mute. Please, guys, famous fame. I think you need to go on mute.
How do I mute myself, man?
Lord have mercy. It's my brother Fahim as well. Lord have mercy. Oh my God, we're in trouble. Okay, but LFC Sai, I think we got your point. We're going to discuss it further, my brother. Look forward to hearing you and speaking to you very, very soon as well, my brother, because I think more and more people are joining the platform and I want to try and get through as many people as I can. LFC side,
Grizz,
as usual, you're a legend.
one point.
Legend.
One point.
Go for it.
Just I want to ask. See, slot coming in, slot announce. It will be happening in a couple of days.
Whoops. Okay.
You-
Sorry,
you-
LFC side. I think I've lost you there, but we got your points. Brother Irfan, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Grizz, what's happening?
Everything's happening, bro. Mohamed Salah news is
I
raging.
saw that earlier on.
We were worried. We were panicking. What's going on? Your thoughts? Your thoughts on the Mohamed Salah situation? Are you happy with this?
I think
Do you
people
think
are
this is a lot of people are saying? I read a comment from Tatty Lad, who I follow actually and follows me on Twitter. He says game of bluff being played by all parties. Mo won't be at Liverpool next season, and there will be a deal met somewhere. There'll be a deal met somewhere in the middle where he'll leave in the summer. Your reactions to that and other things, Mohamed Salah.
So what do you say? Who's gonna leave in the summer?
Right, that's a great start because I just fucking read a whole.
No.
tweet out from-
I heard that.
This
all of
is
it.
why I don't let you on any of my channels, on my shows.
Listen,
ever.
you literally invited me on here. Now you're saying all this.
I know, but I invited you in the hope that you're gonna be semi-professional, like semi-professional. This is Mina Mohammed's first show, and you're causing a scene already. But listen, let's try again.
Yeah, please. No,
Some
maybe-
people think
Yeah.
are
Some people, yeah.
dubious about this news. Some people think it's a game of chess between Mohamed Salah, the Saudi clubs, Edwards, Liverpool. I want to hear your informed take.
No, a lot of people were saying even before this little rift happened with the club that Salah will end up staying for a couple more seasons because he's the type of player that might end up going to Saudi in about 3 or 4 years' time. So I don't think it's a chess game or anything. I think, look, the fact that he's had that little ding dong with Klopp's leaving anyway now. So it doesn't really affect him. And so I don't know. I take this news as face value. If he's staying, if he wants to stay, I think he will stay. There's no reason to believe, right? From what's happened, there's no reasons for me to think that this is some sort of game of chess. No, I think if he's saying, and if that Ornstein is reporting that he's going to stay, then I think he will stay. Now I don't know if that's a good news or bad news.
This is what I want you to hear, Mohammed. Do you think Irfan thinks we've got to take it on face value? If these reliable journalists have been briefed that Mohamed Salah wants to stay and has no intention of leaving, and I'm going to try to share Paul Joyce's article or tweet where he goes on to elaborate even more, Mohammed, and says talks over a new contract will be starting, because that's key, right?
Very key. And that was the point I was just about to raise, because before when you was reading David Ornstein's posts, you mentioned Paul Joyce being the gospel, and he's absolutely the gospel. That's the only person I didn't hear announce Mo Salah was looking to stay for the next season. And when you've just mentioned that now, we definitely have to take it on face value. If Paul Joyce has said he's staying, he's staying. I know that for a fact. Mo Salah's probably told Edwards, he's probably told whoever's in charge in the board that he's staying at the club. That was the only part of me that was slightly concerned. I'm not trying to discredit David Ornstein. Like, of course, he's a very credible journalist.
Yeah,
he's one of the best journalists in the world. But for Liverpool news and Liverpool knowledge, as soon as that little image pops up, it was fame.
fame, man.
Fame.
Brother,
I didn't even say anything. I'm just listening.
I know.
But you need to put yourself on mute.
You put yourself on mute.
Because
we get. Yeah, but I'm ready to take this deep dive again. Yeah,
we're ready to hear your deep dive, my brother. We're very, very ready to hear your deep dive. Just put yourself on mute, and then we can have a bit of a ding dong later. Sorry, Mohammed.
Sorry, yeah. So I was just closing up there. I was just saying, David Ornstein, absolutely respected journalist, but Paul Joyce is the gospel for Liverpool news. And Grizz, if he said that he's in potentially even signing a new contract, that's exactly what I've wanted and I've been calling for. Extend his contract for a year. That Saudi money's still going to be there this time next year, because Mo Salah's still going to score 25 plus goals, and that Saudi money will come. That,
Yeah.
But do you think, Grizz, do you think he may have, obviously, this news probably come out because he's probably had conversation with Slot and Edwards.
That's
and
what I was
Edwards-
going to ask, guys.
Mm.
Do you think, are we suggesting that Slot has talked to Salah's people? Because this news seems to be concrete, like Mohammed is saying, when these journalists come out with these kind of statements or articles, whatever, they've come from a solid place, right? Are we suggesting, brothers, that there's been conversations between the new incoming coach, Edwards, and Salah's people?
I hope so. And if there has been, that's a little tick in the box for Arne Slot for me already. Because I don't know Arne Slot. I don't watch Eredivisie football matches. I don't watch Feyenoord. I don't know nothing about Arne Slot. But if he has come out already and spoken to Mohamed Salah and his representatives and told them how important he is, and Mohamed Salah's already decided to stay on, wow, listen, credits in the bank already for Arne Slot. I'm happy with that. But yeah, I think he potentially, Mohamed Salah, would have had the conversation with the hierarchy, whether that be Michael Edwards, whether that be Arne Slot. But he must have got some sort of reassurances to say.
I think, hold on, we have got an article by someone who's very kindly. Oh, no, I can't get it all up.
But I
sorry.
think, Grizz,
bad.
look, Edwards and Slot, Edwards especially because he's coming earlier, they must have spoken to more senior players, see what their plans are. Where do they want to go, and these sort of things. So the senior players will be approached first to have a chat with them.
Sure.
I think Slot might have even spoken to them as well, saying, look, what's his plans for Salah next season? How does he expect to play? All that sort of stuff. And that's, I think probably he might have been so convinced by that, and now he's probably wants to stay. It can't be anything else, I don't think.
We're gonna get the mad Fahim from Luton Town in the building. Fahim, if you want to unmute yourself and let's hear your deep dive.
Yeah.
Deep
I'm here, man. I'm here. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to put off. Have you got anything on in the background?
No.
Okay, let's see.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me put my headphones in.
Yeah, put your headphones in. Maybe that will solve the issue and the problem. Because I want to hear this deep dive. If
that
people
better?
don't know, Fahim was on the call-in, the legendary call-in Khan show on Saturday.
That's
And
right, man.
That's right. And people were taken back with some of his takes. Obviously, some agreed. Obviously, some disagreed. But that's the beauty of footballing opinions. There is not many right and wrong ones. Sometimes there is. Let me clarify. But usually
I'm gonna break it down.
People listen very carefully.
Yeah,
Uncle
this is
Fahim.
bite size.
Okay, bite size take.
Bite size. So small morsels, and you're gonna get filled up, and you're gonna get clued up. You see me?
Yeah, I
Right,
see
check
that.
it out. Yeah.
Mm.
When a new manager comes in, yeah, what's the first thing that new manager want to do?
Keep his best players.
Keep his best players? No. Also, yes. What else?
Oh, get quizzed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he want to bring in his chosen players. Yeah, he want to bring in players. Yeah, people that he fancies, people that he thinks should be with him and can do a good job.
To an
So
extent.
that basically.
Which order? Yeah, we disagree, but carry on. Let him land, Mohammed.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's let him
Yeah,
land.
so no, this is a fact. Every manager that comes in, the first thing he does, he brings a couple of players with him. Yeah, he brings his coaching team and he brings a couple of players. So obviously, Mr. Slot Machine, him got a couple of guys in one reach. Now check it out, yeah. FSG, Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, how do we work in the transfer market?
Usually
we sell to buy.
We
sell
fund our, yeah,
to
we
buy.
fund, yeah. We work our way through,
Yeah, whatever.
Has he gone?
He is broken up.
Klopp, sorry, my phone locked. Klopp was flexing. He was buying players. He was building up the money over a year, 1 window, 2 window, 3 window, selling this player, selling that player, not buying a player. He was building up the money. When him get 30, 40, 50, 60 million, he would go out and buy what he had to buy. Yeah, that's how Klopp was flexing. Yeah, my guy now at the moment, I don't know what money they got, what money FSG are going to give them. Yeah, so first thing we know is that Slot is coming in. He needs to buy players. Second thing we know, we sell to buy. We sell players, get that money, and then we go out and reinvest it. Yeah, that's how we've done it. We ain't done anything different in the last 8, 9 years. Yeah, even all our big money buys, everyone has come from a sell to buy ratio. Yeah, that's how we do it. Third thing now, yeah, third bite, third muscle. Yeah. Who is our most sellable player at the moment that you would consider that you would want to sell? Yeah, based on age, length of contract, yeah, and value for money. Yeah.
Do you want to answer, or is that like a
I'm asking you
rhetorical
a question,
question?
everyone.
Yeah, well, it's obviously Mohamed Salah. That's what you
Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Mohamed
some people in
Salah.
the chat are throwing in a brother Nunes there, man. Some people are
Well,
throwing
yeah,
in a
actually,
Darwin
No,
Nunes.
he's just a donkey. Nunes
that's actually
is
a
a
good point.
donkey. Yeah, we gotta sell Nunes regardless. Yeah, and even if we get 20 million, we need to take that 20 million.
Nah,
And thank
we
you
don't.
very much. Lord have mercy on us. Yeah, I'm talking about the player with the least amount of time on the contract, the oldest on the age, yeah, and the highest sell value. That's Mohamed Salah. Yeah, everything what they're doing now, yeah, is basically firefighting. Yeah, they're doing a recovery mode. Yeah, because what happened over the weekend.
Brother Fahim, I think you're cutting out. We have some issues.
What the phone locks, yeah, the phone locks,
I know,
yeah,
but you're gonna
auto
have to
locks it,
overcome this,
yeah,
innit?
and then
That's I don't know what to say to you.
okay, I'll work it out, but check it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Now at the moment, yeah, we went from last season from Mohamed Salah potentially getting sold for 180 million, 200 million. Yeah, to potentially man's talking about he's only worth 60, he's only worth 50, he's only worth 70. Yeah, so how do we claw that price back up? Yeah, how do we get it back up? The only way we get it back up, we start doing a little contract talk. We start saying
Okay.
he ain't going. Yeah, we
Okay.
got to send out these smoke signals. Mans are looking in. Yeah, the FSG are looking at PSG. They're looking at the Saudis. Yeah, CIP fund, whatever they're called. Yeah,
Mm.
they're looking at all these mans. Yeah, and they're thinking, how are we going to draw these men in? How are we going to draw them in? The only way, yeah, Mohamed Salah, he's not for sale. He's part of the future. Yo, man, check it out. What future? He's 32 years old, bro. What future is he going to give you, man? Yeah, he's going to give you 1 year, 2 years? How much is he going to give you? Bro, I love Mohamed Salah. He's my favorite all-time player for LFC. Yeah, but you have to recognize, yeah, that with us, his time is done, unfortunately. Yeah, Klopp didn't, we couldn't get the best out of him. Yeah, we were nearly, man. Yeah, and that hurts me a lot, man. Hurts me that we got a guy that gave you numbers that no other player has ever given you. Yeah, and we couldn't give him the trophies.
Fahim, sorry, I just have to interject.
Yeah, let's Fahim, let's park those thoughts for a little while. Put yourself on mute, please, and let's get some rebuttal or reply. Mohammed.
Yeah, so there's a lot to take in.
Dissect.
Dissect, that's the way. I'm gonna start with the last point that you said. We didn't get the best out of Mo Salah. What? Like, that is a ludicrous statement. Of course we have got the best out of Mohamed Salah. He's got, I think, is it 2 or 3 golden boots? He broke the Premier League goal scoring record in his first season. He's won the Premier League, he's won the Champions League, he's won the FA Cup, he's won the Carling Cup, he's won the Club World Cup, he's won the Community Shield. Sorry, maybe not the Community Shield, but he's won everything. So yeah, let's not talk about that. In terms of your points, they're actually quite valid. If you believe in conspiracy theories, if you believe the Earth is flat and not round, maybe we can all jump on conspiracy theories for different things. Like, if we're seeing something with face value from one of the most respected and reputable journalists like Paul Joyce, especially, who is literally the gospel of Liverpool Football Club news, we have to take that as news. But there is also a good argument to what Fahim was saying, that potentially it is a smokescreen to entice all these different teams and clubs and even countries to come and sign Mohamed Salah and try and boost his price. Another point that you mentioned, Fahim, that I would like to back to you. You mentioned last season we rejected 170, 200 million, etc. And now he's only worth 90, 80, 100 million, etc. So we might have lost 100 million. But with that 100 million loss, we've come this close to winning the Premier League. Isn't that 100 million worth getting the Premier League trophy? And if Mohamed Salah can be that difference maker, then next season, and he's only worth 50 million, but we eventually leave with a trophy, the Premier League trophy and we win it 20 times, isn't it then worth that 50 million difference? Because that is the difference with Mohamed Salah. He will bring you to the dance. He brought us to the dance this season with his goals, his assists, his performances, his contribution, and could potentially do it again next season. So I do agree with some of your points. But other points I kind of disagree on. I wouldn't want to get rid of Mohamed Salah. The chat's already mentioned the person I would get rid of is most likely Darwin Núñez, but not for a low price of 20 stuff. He's still a good football player. He's got a few goals this season, a few assists. He'll do well for a mid-table, not even a mid-table, like a Bilbao, maybe even a Sevilla. And I don't know if they've got the money, but maybe they can fork out 50 million. And if we can do that, happy days. Let Ancelotti, and you're right, he might want to bring in his own players. Here's the 50 million from Núñez. Here's a little bit extra from FSG to kickstart you, because he probably negotiated that before he joined the club. How much will I have to spend in the summer? And go out and get the players in. But the other point I was going to mention to that argument was, I'm not sure if you guys have seen, it was announced a couple of days ago that Ancelotti is not coming in as a manager, like a so-called manager in like football, like English football term. He's coming in more as a head coach. So his role and his title will be head coach of Liverpool Football Club. So he'll be in charge of day-to-day coaching, and he's going to be in charge of like match days and stuff. But in terms of transfers, that will be all Michael Edwards, and is it Richard Hughes or Richard Edwards? Something.
No, Richard Hughes, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be more in charge. So yeah, well, let's watch this space, I guess. I think Mohamed Salah will stay. I have to rebuke that from you, Fahim. I think he will stay. I don't think it is a smokescreen to get big contracts. I think Mohamed Salah is an elite winner. He's hungry to win more with Liverpool Football Club, add more to his legacy, which is already stacked, because he's going to leave as the best right winger in Premier League history. But why not add more to it? And yeah.
Fahim, if you're there.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. This thing is a bit crazy, because I had to shut it down and come back in. I couldn't hear.
There's going to be teething problems, guys. No problem, man. It's no problem.
Yeah,
Call us in and
look,
me trying to work you guys out as well.
look.
Because at the moment I'm streaming on YouTube and on playback, so I'm trying to do a few things. But for him, I think Mohamed
Arnie Slot coming in. Slot coming in. First season, transition season. Yeah, you want to hope that we can get a top 4 position with a new manager first time in. Yeah, setting your sights on a title, yeah, I think is out of our capabilities. Yeah, I don't think we should be thinking about trying to win a title in the first season. I think we should be hoping for a little bit of a transition, a stability in a transition, and a challenge, and a stepping stone, to move to better, bigger, and better. Yeah, look, you have to look at this, the coaching thing, the thing that they're setting up. Yeah, this kind of thing, it doesn't work. Yeah, it does not work. PSG have been working under this module, right? And they got unlimited funds, unlimited money. Yeah, money is no object for PSG. Yeah, and look how they've tried. Yeah, with different managers, top managers, bro. Not Mickey Mouse managers, man. Tuchel, Pochettino, Emery, they all tried it and they failed. It does not work that way. Yeah, but if we think we can do better, then good luck. Let's give it a go. Yeah, but I'm not too gassed on this setup. Yeah, I'm a bit kind of reserved.
And look, and we understand that. Look, to be honest with you, I get it. There's a lot of apprehension for him. There's loads of others that were looking to join in now. So I'm going to remove you, but thank you very much for joining in and giving us some pearls of wisdom, as the case may be, or not. And we catch up in a bit, my brother.
Take care, bro.
Nice one, bro. Take care. My very good friend Steve Plunkett has joined me. Of course, Steve Plunkett, you guys, if you don't know, get to know. Valued member of Red Fellas and contributor at Redmen TV. Steve, how are you first and foremost? It's been a while. You're on mute. Hold on, I don't know how to do this. You're on mute. Mohammed, is it?
Sorted.
Got you.
Not too bad, mate. all things considered, end of the season and all that stuff, and the manager situation, and then just generally it's been a bit anticlimactic, hasn't it? Towards the end of the season, we expected so much, and it'll still be when the dust settles, it'll still be a decent season. But we kind of worked our way into a title race we probably had no right being in, given where we were in terms of the club. And all our chickens are coming home to roost. We're just tired, mate. You look at Klopp. I've always said to you, haven't I, that clubs, teams are a direct representation of their manager. And he's absolutely wasted, mate. He's got nothing left to give. You watch him sat on the touchline. He looks shattered. He looks like he needs a holiday. And I think that transmits itself into the side as well. Guardiola's teams are sort of intense and itchy and horrible to watch. And, Man United are sort of don't know what they are and they don't know what to do and they're not really sure how to be. And I kind of get that impression from Ten Hag as well. So I think it'll be sad that it's ended like this because you would have wanted so much more for him. But we have to look to the future now, don't we? But it's been a bit anticlimactic for me. It needed to be so much more.
Steve, while we've got you, hold on. What's the echo?
How
does this work now?
It might be.
Steve, have you got headphones?
Might have. Hang on.
See if you got headphones. Excuse me. Because we're getting an echo.
Give me a minute. I'll go on mute and I'll go and sort that out and come back.
Yeah, no worries. We've got Yus 8 on the stage as well.
My good friend Yusuf. If I could introduce him.
Go for it.
Yus 8, my good friend Yusuf. Come chat to us, bro. Come off mute. If you're there.
It takes a couple seconds.
Man, how you doing?
Yes, brother. How are you?
We're doing great,
You okay, Greece? You okay, Mo?
Yeah, I'm with all the stuff of the world. Alhamdulillah.
Stay with me.
Yeah, so like me and Yusuf go way back. We've been watching football. We've seen a lot of happy days, a lot of sad days. We were crying together when we lost in 2007 against AC Milan, and we were cheering together in 2019 when we won the Champions League, and even in 2005. We've seen it all together. This team and this football club, listen, as we said before, it's an emotional football club, but that's part of the reason why we love it. Liverpool, the city itself, is an emotional football club, and that's part of the reason why we're so enamored to the football club. So with the news coming out today, Yusuf, what was your thoughts?
So, first and foremost, I want to say in regards to the Mohamed Salah situation, I believe that he's the best player that I've ever seen in a red shirt. I thought it was Steven Gerrard, and Mo knows how much I love Steven Gerrard.
Absolutely.
Like I like a different level of love. So it's really big me saying Mo Salah is the best Premier League player that we've had. In the Premier League.
Surprised you've said that.
You know how much I love Stevie, but I think he honestly is, because with what he's won, the effect that he's had on the team, the individual accolades, the accolades with the club, and these last 2-3 weeks, I was saying to Mo that I think maybe if he's got 12 months left on his contract, and with the way that he's playing, that maybe it's the time right now in the summer, if Saudi come calling, to maybe cash in. This is on the pretense that he's not going to sign another contract. I was believing that he's got 12 months left. If he gets to this summer, then he won't sign another one. Mo was on the kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, where you're saying you believe that he was going to sign a contract. So him, the news today changes everything for me now. Because if he wants to stay and he believes he's got more to give, and I remember he did an interview. Who did he do the interview with? He did an interview saying that it doesn't matter what happens with the manager, that I'm staying. And
I think it was Sky, wasn't it?
I think
it was Sky.
I remember he was sat in KB in the train. He said, "I don't know who it was. Maybe
it was with the girl. I forgot her name, but it was with Sky. I think
he said that
he's on Anfield Rock sometimes.
So I
Melissa
believe
Reddy? Was it with Melissa Reddy?
No, not Melissa Reddy.
Harriet
I
Pryor.
just remember him wearing green, and
I think
can't remember who it was.
Yeah, go on.
But he said that he was gonna stay, and it didn't matter. But I don't know if I believed him. But if he's ready to stay, ready to sign that new contract, And I'm talking not a silly amount. I don't want you asking for £400,000-500,000 a week and holding the club to ransom. But maybe if he's signing an extension to what he's earning at the moment, or something terms like that, and we still got enough to get other players, then I'm happy with him staying. But we can't ignore his form over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I heard this at the start where you're talking about maybe he's carrying an injury and maybe he's got enough credit in the bank that we can overlook that. But it's getting to the point where we might have to look at it and not overlook it. And he's not bigger than Jurgen Klopp. He's not bigger than the club. And if he's told to come on at the 81st minute, he's got to come on at the 81st minute.
Absolutely.
No ifs, no throwing your hands, no gesture. If he comes on and then if Klopp calls for him in the 91st minute, he's still got to come at the 91st minute. It doesn't matter. Oh, if you 7 years of all of this goals and trophy, it doesn't matter. You call upon when you need to be called upon. And his antics, it's not good. He's got to come out, maybe apologise indoors or whatever he needs to. He doesn't need to apologise to us. If Jurgen says it's sorted after the game, he said it's sorted, then I believe him. But that petulance has got to stop.
And you know what?
That's something that...
Spot on, Wallah. You've hit the nail on the head there. I was more pissed off with Salah when that initially happened. I was like, who are you to disrespect the manager? That is the manager of the football club. If he tells you you're sitting on the bench till the 81st minute, you're sitting on the bench till the 81st minute. It doesn't matter who you are. Our best player scored loads of goals for us. It doesn't matter. If the manager tells you you're coming on the 81st and then tells you to sit back down, you sit back down. You respect your manager. No one's bigger than the club. Salah's not bigger than the club, nor Jurgen. So he just has a spot on point.
Yusuf, I wanted to raise a couple of points, and I want to get Steve involved in this part of the chat. Okay, so Yusuf, you were saying that you started thinking about what kind of money you would have accepted for him, right? Until today's news that he's come out and said, and it's obviously been briefed from his people, from his side, that he has no intention of leaving. He's got no intention of leaving this season for continuing until next season. And I want to get Steve, I want to get all of your opinions, but Steve, okay, let's not beat around the bush. Could this be a ploy? Could this be a ploy just to see out his contract and then risk losing him on a free? And do we accept that? And are we willing to accept that? Because Mane went for cheap, Bobby went free, I think. Are we willing to accept all the famous three without any funds, especially the way Edwards has been brought back? I think specifically to rule out any sentiment and any sort of romanticism. This is a bit... I think what I'm trying to say is at some point there's going to have to be a business decision as well. Not just Mohamed Salah, the greatest player of our era and everything else. There's going to have to be a business decision if he doesn't sign an extension.
Absolutely. And what does that extension look like? It doesn't look like 350 grand a week because he's not that player that he was anymore in that regard.
I can't see it.
Will he take a pay cut? I'm not convinced. What was today about? Is it a PR stunt to take the media's eyes off what happened at the weekend? I'm not convinced it isn't that either. There has to be a conversation because we know Michael Edwards' view on Jordan Henderson's contract extension. And it was proven in hindsight, whilst not at the club, to be the right way to look at that. He's not a fan of giving 30-somethings extended contracts on mega bucks. We know this. Yep. If you don't have that conversation in the summer, if £100 million is put on the table, and you allow him to run down his contract, not only have you lost £100 million that someone would have paid you for him, you've then got to spend 50, 60, 70 million to replace him. The clubs today have voted for a spending cap based on television revenue. What does that even mean? Does that mean you've got the capability to replace him if you're not filling up the coffers in the meantime? So there will be a business discussion because football is more of a business now than it's ever been. And I don't say these things, Grizz, with a negativity towards Mo Salah. You can't question what that man's given the football club. You can't question his role at the top table in years to come. And we sit and talk about who's the best Premier League 11. He will be in that. But at some point in time, you have to look at what Liverpool Football Club looks like in 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. And how do we finance that? Now, if you get 80 million plus for him, for a 32-year-old, that every time he comes back from AFCON, really looks like that's taking it out of him. I know there's no AFCON next year, but even so, hasn't looked great for recent weeks. And, you know, we do Red Fellas, and I haven't been on it for a little while, but we do Red Fellas, and we speak about his general play at times isn't great, but then have a 10-minute purple patch where he might score and assist, and suddenly it's king. It's the Egyptian king, and rightly so. But we're now moving into a different era with potentially a different game plan, potentially a different lineup. He favours 4-3-1-2. What does that look like for Mo Salah? A central role? Can he do that? Possibly. Is he prolific enough? Don't know. Misses lots of chances that we would expect him to take, i.e. the clean through and the chip that doesn't even hit the target last week that left us all with our head in our hands. So this is a difficult summer for the football club in general. And what happened at the weekend and the Mo Salah position has probably now come to the forefront because there's a little bit of stress in his relationship with what's going on at the football club. Now, if you want to play and you want to play every week, then you have to up your game because there's not a footballer throughout the years of the history of football that hasn't warranted sitting on the bench due to a lack of form. Nobody's entitled to expect to play. And that at the weekends did sort of strike me as a little bit of entitlement.
Mohamed Yusuf, did you want to come back with something? Look, Steve, you make some relevant points. Of course, it's an awkward situation, especially with the absence of Klopp from the touchline next season. Guys, I am absolutely in no way, people that are watching on YouTube and on playback, I want to make this clear. I'm in no way comparing the character and personality of Cristiano Ronaldo to Mohamed Salah. Right? Make sure you hear that part. But there is small similarities in terms of when Cristiano Ronaldo was still there, when the new manager, was it Ten Hag, comes in, and there's the uncertainty of the main man, the star man, maybe not being happy with a bit part role, undermining the new coach. Because Ten Hag is a coach, and Arne Slot will be a coach only. Could be a case of we need to not have any blurred lines, Mohamed, in this scenario situation. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I am absolutely not comparing the characters and personalities before people say, oh my God, how can you compare him to Cristiano Ronaldo? I'm not. I'm assessing the situation with a star man, new coach. He's trying to maybe implement his game or different game, a different role. I think there needs to be big conversations in the next few weeks with them lot.
You know what, Grizz? I think you make an excellent point there. There is a good comparison to be made with Arne Slot coming in and when Ten Hag came in with Cristiano Ronaldo and how he dealt with Cristiano. The only thing with Cristiano back then, he wasn't the player that was going to lead Manchester United to any trophies, to win any leagues. He was, 36, 37 years old. You could clearly see his legs are gone. He's not running about. He would score you goals. Fortunately, we haven't seen that side of Mohamed Salah to that extent yet. I understand the past couple of weeks he has been very poor, and I agree with you, Steve, as well. He would have a little purple patch within a game. Within 5 minutes, he'll get a goal and an assist, but he would have 85 minutes where it's a complete horror show. The one game I remember is Everton when we beat them at Anfield this season, and we beat them 2-0. Salah was awful. He was really, really bad, but I think he left with a goal and an assist, or was it 2 goals? There is a very good comparison to be made there. We've seen what history's shown us before with Cristiano and how it affected the team. But I'm still going to stay firm with my stance. And I think Steve's made very, very, very good points in regards to a business decision. And football is a lot more business than it is actual football nowadays, and we do need to take sentiments out of it. But my position, and Yusuf can back me on this as well, I've been saying it for weeks now since Jurgen Klopp was announced that he's leaving, and I knew that Mo Salah's contract was running out next season. I thought as little change as possible to the squad, the better. Keep the squad as it is. Add in a few players that potentially Arne Slot wants to bring in. I understand maybe Nunes hasn't been the best, Diaz hasn't been the best, but if you're going to get rid of the manager and then you're going to get rid of your best attacker and then potentially a couple more, I understand next season's going to be a transition. and we might not be expected to win the league, but at the beginning of this season, we wasn't expected to win the league. But we still do need to get top 4. That needs to be the absolute bare minimum. If we go for a title, if we're in a title race, we find ourselves in a title race, fantastic. But the bare minimum, we need to get into that top 4. But if we're losing the manager and then we're losing our star players and we're losing all our best players, that's going to make the task so much harder. Keeping Mo Salah for me was very important. It was extremely important. And what is even more important is potentially extending his contract by 1 year with the same terms, perhaps, as Yusuf mentioned before, with the same terms. If he's happy to take a little bit of a pay cut, that's fine, because I've always been of the view that 100 million that's sat here for us right now this summer will also be sat there next season.
The rest of you guys, have you got anything
I just wanted to say in regard... Just a quick one, Steve. If you've got a case study already in Kylian Mbappe ran down his contract because he knows once he goes on a free, that transfer fee is not going to the club, but he's getting a heavy sign-on bonus, and that goes in his pocket. So I think we have to look at that. Maybe that's what Salah's looking at, is that instead of the club benefiting of a transfer, what I can do is run this down, make it look like the club haven't offered me a contract, stay that extra year because he wants to stay that extra year, and have his cake and eat it. And at the end of not this summer, next summer, go to Saudi and take that massive 90, 100 million pound sign-on bonus that goes straight into his pocket. If I was his agent, this is exactly what I'd be doing. This is a straight out the playbook of Kylian Mbappe, straight out the playbook of Gini Wijnaldum. All of these players over the last year or two who want that mega bucks, even Sadio Mane to a certain extent, wanted that big last contract. You're not going to get that. You maximize that by going on the free. You maximize your wages by going on the free. And I believe that maybe this is, like you were saying before, maybe this is a ploy for him to get as much as he can and fill his boot. But that's just the cynic in me. But go on.
There has to be a cynic. Go for Steve.
But if that's the case, then Liverpool Football Club have to consider selling him in the summer. Because you can't have that situation. I've said it before. If you get £80 million for him, that's just a ballpark figure, or you don't, and you lose that £80 million, and then you have to replace him. The net loss to the football club is £140 million, and absolutely no way do you bring a man of the sort of commercial calibre back to the squad as Michael Edwards and him preside over the club. A, losing £80 million, and then B, having to explain to the board why it cost you £60 million to replace that player. So if that is the idea, and I get the point that's been made, and it makes perfect sense, and the examples of Mbappe and players like that was a really good example, then I don't want that to happen to my football club. And that might be where we have to say to Mo, thanks for everything you've done. You will be in many people's eyes in the top 5 players Liverpool Football Club have ever had, and your legacy is untarnished. But what you want to achieve in the next year to 18 months doesn't fit in with the business model of the football club. And it's always been a business model since the owners took over. And we're not ones looking over our shoulder at points deductions and things like that because we've been run properly. I know there's been issues, there's things we could have done better, but fundamentally we run the football club well. And that would include not underwriting £130 million worth of losses because you decided to keep a player for 12 months and then you decided you have to spend money to replace him. So for me, it's the 1 year extension makes sense. Not convinced the player goes for that or his agent. And I don't think, you see, when you're 32, 33 years old, you wake up one morning and your legs have gone. It happened to Fabinho, it happened to Henderson, it happened to Carragher, it happened to Gerrard, and you can't decide when that is. And suddenly you're paying £20 million a year for a player that potentially can't do it anymore. And then you're hoping at the end of that year, the end of that season, that possibly there's going to be a big bid for him. Now, I'm not sitting here advocating the sale of Mo Salah, don't get me wrong. If everything works out properly and we can get a deal out of it, he's still got a lot to offer the football club. But if this is see out your contract, push for it, there's no way he can have a pay increase at 32 when that just won't happen. That can't happen. It's a really difficult one. I'm not advocating losing him. And going back to your point, Grizz, about similarities between him and Cristiano Ronaldo, they've both got a siege mentality when it comes to being 30 years old, fit bodies cut out of stone through hard work, not an ounce of fat on them, do everything the right way, model professionals. Both massively, massively conscious of their brand, and that's the key. Both very aware of brand Mo Salah and brand Cristiano Ronaldo and how big that is, and when is the right time to capitalise on that. So it's coming back to Manchester United was a masterstroke for Ronaldo, although it didn't work out. The PR and the initial financial gain for everybody was huge. Salah going to Saudi Arabia, which has struggled of late, could be the first signing in a rebirth of phase 2 of how the Saudi league runs, and use him to get it right before FIFA lift that embargo and clubs can sign players for themselves rather than through the PIF fund. So bit of a concern where we are, bit of a worry, but it will be business above sentiment where Mo Salah is concerned. And I genuinely believe if it's the things that the lads have spoken about, then the football club have to take an offer seriously. They have to sit down and discuss its merits.
But this is where it gets tricky, guys. And I think it's been a wonderful opening stream. I don't know what you guys think. For a first stream, it's been decent. I know we've had a few technical issues, but come on, guys, it wouldn't be Khanage if it wasn't Khanage. Right. So, Mohammed.
Yeah.
How are you accepting or how are you taking on offer? Yusuf, great to see your beautiful face as well. How are we? So Steve says, and Yusuf said, we may have to consider taking an offer for him. How on earth do you force someone like Mohamed Salah, or as was the case in Cristiano Ronaldo, or as the most recent high-profile case, Kylian Mbappe, how on earth do you force someone out?
Look,
how do you do this?
Steve and Yusuf's points are absolutely spot on, but I've literally been consistent from the very start with what I've been saying. You give Mohamed Salah a 1-year contract extension, and then you sell him next summer, so that money will still be there. If he refuses to sign that to sign that contract, which Yusuf has mentioned with the Mbappe example and what Steve's been talking about, then in that case, we definitely need to have a conversation. And
how?
Okay, he needs to go. If that's the case, and he wants to leave on a free next summer, he needs to go. Look, Grizz, and let me take you back to January 2011. I was in Aston and Smithdown Road, and I was in tears. Do you know why I was in tears? My childhood hero left, Fernando Torres. I thought, yeah, Liverpool Football Club is finished. I'm never going to see any star players. I don't know how we're ever going to recover from this. I was completely devastated. Fernando Torres, the love I had for that man was just unbelievable. I thought it's the end of days. He's going to Chelsea. I was genuinely in tears. I'm not even exaggerating. But literally in the same transfer window, we went to sign Luis Suarez, who turned out to be tenfold the player, if we're all being honest. And then when Suarez left, it hurts. But then we've got Coutinho. Oh, and now Coutinho's left. Oh my God, what's happening here? We've got Mane, Salah, and Firmino. The reason why I'm making these points, if Salah is to leave this summer, there's going to be another star that comes eventually. Because at the end of the day, we're having this conversation today with Mohamed Salah, but let's not forget, guys, we're going to be having this conversation very soon with Virgil van Dijk. We're going to be having this conversation potentially very soon with Trent Alexander-Arnold. We're going to maybe even have this conversation with Alisson. I think he's only got 2 years left on his contract. So stars come and go. If Mohamed Salah is refusing to sign a 1-year extension with the same terms and whatever else, and with the view of Liverpool Football Club potentially selling him next summer, because I don't want there to be too much change. I don't want there to be too much chaos next season, because we're losing our great manager. We're losing Jurgen Klopp. So as I said to you before, Grizz, losing Klopp and Salah in the same summer,
it's too much. And this is where I don't want it to go, guys. Rafa DJS is in the building. Big up Rafa. One of my co-hosts on the call-in show. I call him a co-host, but he's awful at it. He doesn't even listen to the questions, and he's absolutely hilarious, but he's a brilliant guy. He says, I might be naive, but I would hope Mo doesn't ruin his legacy by playing mind games with the club to suit his own agenda.
No.
This is what I don't want, guys. No. Now, Yusuf's nodding his head because Mohammed's nodding his head like, no way, he won't do that. Yusuf, I think you're nodding your head.
We can't be naive here, guys, because these are...
see, I knew it. Yusuf's coming from a cynical point of view.
But you can't be naive because You can say we love the football club, we're fans of the football club, but players here do what's right for them, and you can't say that's wrong. So if I'm Mohamed Salah, I'm going to do what's right for Mohamed Salah, and that doesn't mean signing a contract extension. That does not mean that but it depends what his intentions are. We don't know what his intentions are. Does he want to mess with the club? I don't think he means to, but he's going to do what he wants to do for his own agenda and what he wants to get out of the situation. If he wants to stay at Liverpool Football Club, he signs the contract extension. And you know what? In a month's time or 2 months' time, when Edwards comes in and Arne comes in or whatever at the end of the season, he might go and do that. He might go and sign the contract, and all of this is left behind us. But we're just making the point from the point I'm making is if he doesn't sign that contract, then he runs it down. Then Edwards is trying to get up to sell him. And then he says no, because he's got the leverage in the situation. And if he says no, then there's nothing we can do. He goes on a free this summer.
This is my point. There's not a lot we can do.
In his court, it's not in our court.
Steve, this is the dangerous territory, isn't it? By the way, guys, I've just realized we've got about 200 people on YouTube watching as well on my channel. Wow, I'm neglecting you guys in the chat. I'm so sorry I've not been responding. Normally, I'm not so ignorant in the chat, but I'm focusing on the playback stream and the chat. So if I've been ignoring you, I'm not being rude. Guys, click on the link and join in the chat here, because you know me, I can only do one thing technical at a time, guys. Don't stretch my brain like that. Don't do this to me. I'm not getting any younger. Steve, this is the problem, though, we're going to have. Yes, he has come out and made this statement via intermediaries, whatever, you know. But it's not, I still think, and again, I don't want to be as cynical as Yusuf, but I don't want to be as, no, that's it, face value. Mohamed Salah has said he loves the club and he wants to stay and he's going to sign a new extension and everything's going to be rosy in the garden. Because until he signs an extension, I am very uneasy about this, guys. Call me a cynic now. But until he signs an extension, and this is going to be the litmus test if he signs an extension, right, Steve? That's the key.
Yeah, well, it's whether he wants the extensions, whether 1 year is enough. You know, when you're ambassadorial and you like to do things in your home country, like build hospitals and all that stuff, like him and Sadio do. Isn't Saudi Arabia a ready-made revenue stream to do that at some point in your career? And when is it? And when is it going to be that? And I don't know. I hope it's not mind games. I hope it's not football politics. There's a number of clubs over the years that have flirted with other clubs just to get contract renewals, and it's not happened at our club, and it's not nice to watch. So the situation with him is you sit down and you talk to him about, not about 1 year, you talk to him about 2 years. You talk to him about what the future looks like and what his money looks like, because at 33, 34, you can't be paying someone £350,000 a week, because you're not going to get the same as you did out when they were 29. That's the law of physics, isn't it? Things don't last forever, and there will be a tail off at some point. At times this season, he's looked like he's lost half a yard. He's suddenly looked like he's 32 years old. And that might be as a result of the injury. That might be a number of things. But I guess the situation is we're bringing in a new manager. We might have a new system. What we've got to do is have players in that system for 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, whilst it becomes all the things it needs to be to challenge again. And you can't have that with so much ambiguity and so much uncertainty around one man. I thought the weekend was really, really bad. I thought it was a really bad look for him. Look, Klopp's the boss. You don't do that. And I know there's the lip readers come out and said he was talking about getting sent off and all that stuff, but I tweeted at the time, that's a conversation for Monday morning in the manager's office, not for Sky Sports. Absolutely not for Sky Sports. You can't do anything in football these days without being spotted. So thought it was really poor judgment. If you listen to Mido, remember the ex-Spurs player? It says the deal's done. He's convinced the deal's already done, and it'll happen. But how many times have we seen and heard that? You know, they're all a bit mad like that, aren't they? So it's got to be right for the football club. And the point that Yusuf made before, which was really, really, really pertinent, was Mo Salah will do what Mo Salah wants to do for Mo Salah. Liverpool Football Club will not allow Mo Salah to do what Mo Salah wants to do for Mo Salah. It will be with the best interests of the football club. So I sound like I'm making a case to say see you later and move him on and not have him at the football club, and I'm really not. But the tail can't wag the dog. He's a part of the football club. He's not the football club. And I can add other names to the list before that were given to us. You know, cried when Torres left. Broke my heart when Dalglish quit. Absolutely destroyed me when he quit. I can go back as far as Graham Souness leaving. That was my first heartbreak in football.
Easy, Tiger. Bloody hell.
Yeah. So well, you're not too much younger than me, Grizz. Let's not go there.
Don't start on me. I'm joking.
So yeah, the point being that footballers come and footballers go, and we sort of rise from the ashes and do it again, don't we? And that will always be the way. If he stays on the football club's terms with the length of contract that suits the football club, on the money that suits the football club. If he can't accept that, because whilst he's given the football club an awful lot, have to remember what the football club have given him, which is a platform to shine, to show us the world how good a footballer he is, and sit at the top of European football as a Champions League winner, and play a massive part in that, especially after the injury against Real Madrid in Kiev, to give him a chance to go again and be that guy and be in the running for the Ballon d'Or and all of that stuff. Didn't do that by himself. He was given a platform. He was given support. We built a team around him. You can see that because Mane and Firmino are no longer with us, and he is. So he was the pinnacle. He was the fulcrum pin in that front three that the club looked at and said, that's the man. So, yes, we owe him a little bit, but he also owes the football club an awful lot for me.
There's a comment I want to read out from a very good friend, Shamus, who, guys, you guys need to go and check out the great work he's doing. He just recently interviewed Ivan Rakitic. Do you remember the former Barcelona player?
Yeah.
He was very kind enough. Check out my Twitter on my timeline. He was very kind enough to ask him one of the questions I put forward to him. So Shamus is doing great work out in Saudi. He actually works out in Saudi. So he says, I've got to head off, gents, but I'll definitely join the next one, and it'll be an absolute pleasure to get him on. My view is Mo is an elite athlete, has similarities to Ronaldo in how he lives off the pitch. He can do another 2-3 years at a high level. Regarding him staying, he interviewed Fabrizio Romano recently as well. And he said Al Hilal and Al Nassr want Salah, but they're happy to wait. They're happy to wait, not in a rush. Mo is an LFC legend and loves the club. I don't think he'll go this year. But again, that's it this year. The only guarantees we're hearing from all angles, brothers, is this year. And this is the point, Mohammed. We can't, it goes back to none of you have been able to convince me. None of you have given me an answer. And I don't know the answer myself. So I'm not acting like I know it all. How do you force a player out that is not intent on signing a new contract, but we'll see out his contract? Because we've seen examples. They get their way in this day and age, guys. Doesn't matter how great Edwards is. And he's been brought back as the mastermind in these kind of situations. But it's up to Mohamed Salah, as Yusuf says and Steve says. It's up to Mohamed.
Well,
if Mohamed Salah decides to stay,
he's going
to stay, guys.
He's 100% got the leverage.
If you say to him, we're going to listen to offers for you because you won't sign this length of contract on this money, he's then going to say, well, if you sell me, you've got to pay up certain percentage of my contract, my remaining contract. This is what people don't understand when they have net spend conversations, that if you tell a player you're going to sell him on, his agent comes to you and says, he's got 12 months of his contract at £20 million left. You've got to pay 80% of that for him to go. That's what people don't get their head around. That's what people never understand. So there will be a massive financial loss, whatever way you look at this. If you choose to sell him on, choose to move him, his agent will ask for a payment based on the remainder of his contract. That's just how it works. And lots of people know that, lots of people don't.
Can you factor that into the fee that the team that's buying him? So say the fee is £17 million, but then his wages are X amount. You can't add that to your transfer fee, so they're paying it for it instead of us.
Well, if you're getting £100 million for a 32-year-old, then that is absolutely how you do it, 100%, because of that they're buying him for the marketing value of him, and they're buying him for the big name in the Saudi Pro League that says, look, everyone, we've got Mo Salah. So all you fellas, let's do it again. All you guys who are 31, 32, 33, coming to the end of your genuinely competitive careers, and that doesn't mean I think Mo Salah is at that stage, but there are players in that position. We've got Mo Salah, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, we've got this player, we've got that player. It's just the merry-go-round starts again, and they've made a lot of mistakes. They don't look after the players particularly well. We know Jordan Henderson didn't get paid, so there's a lot of them for them to do to get it right, to get it to work.
Before we continue,
Before
we continue, I know Mohammed wants to come in, but this is relatable to all of us, actually, I believe. Just been DM'd by a brother called Hamza who wants to say hi to Steve. You worked together, and I won't mention where because you might not want to disclose that.
I remember you. It's about 7 foot tall, is Hamza, mate. What a lovely guy he is, mate. Yeah.
There you go. What a small
Sam,
world. What an amazing platform we share where we can reach out.
You know Sam Walker. You know Sam Walker's football thing, One City. Hamza, if you're on, please tell me that I was convinced I saw you there, and we both had a double take. Is it? And then we just went our separate ways. I'm absolutely convinced I saw you there. What a smashing bloke that fella is, mate. Absolutely boss him. So hello, mate. Nice to see you.
Amazing. He's just DM'd me and said to say hello to you. And funny enough, he didn't say hi to you guys, man. What's going on? I thought he's your friend.
Like us anymore.
Yeah, what's going on? I thought that's your Hamza, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we see him every day, so he's
but that's not. But he still needs to shout you out on the channel, man. Live, you know what I mean? He mentioned Steve, but he didn't. Okay.
Am I right? He's dead tall, and he's dead tall, and
massive giant.
But Mohammed, I know you wanted to weigh in and come in on that.
You know, I was gonna come in on the exact point that Steve mentioned towards the end. He mentioned Henderson when he went to Saudi, and they never paid him. But I was going to talk more in regards to what history shows players that leave Liverpool Football Club and how their careers turn out. Like, we know Mohamed Salah's got an elite mentality. He wants to be the best in the world. And, yeah, he wants to be the greatest the best football player. But look at the players that have left us. Henderson, where did his career end up? Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, Coutinho. Well, the list goes on. There's too many. Even Fernando Torres. To the exception, the only one I can think of that had a good career after leaving Liverpool Football Club was Luis Suarez. Perhaps Mohamed Salah should also think about that angle as well. And leaving Liverpool Football Club, how does his career look? But going back to the point that your friend Chamis put into the chat, whereby he mentioned that Al Nasser and Al Hilal, they want to sign Mohamed Salah. Well, of course they do. Mohamed Salah's a Muslim. He's an Arabic-speaking Muslim. He is massive in the Middle East. He is huge. So that's what I've been saying from the very start. It doesn't matter if it's this year or next year. That money will be there. But the most important thing, because you guys are right when you said Mohamed Salah will do what's best for Mohamed Salah, the most important thing is Liverpool Football Club. It doesn't matter about Mohamed Salah. He needs to sign a contract. If he's not willing to sign that contract, then we sell him this year. It's sad to say.
We sell him this year, and I keep going.
It hurts, but he has to.
But you don't. He can force himself to stay. You can't force him out.
Yeah, but if we accept the bid, to be honest, I'm not technically sure how it will work. But if El Halal send over a bid to us this summer and we accept that bid of £120 million, then surely.
But guys, the complication becomes political when they both have been working in tandem. For example, if Al Hilal people and Mohamed Salah's people, and Mohamed Salah himself has said, calma, I have another 12 months left. I will come over and we will talk. You don't need to send bids of 70 million, 80 million from now. Save that for me. Now, I'm painting the worst picture.
Yeah, the worst
All right? Bear in mind, he's our hero.
But if
bearing in mind, we don't want to speak like this. And there will be a lot of Salah stands in the chat and say, yo, Chris is cussing out his own legend. And bro, I'm not, bro. I love Mohamed Salah. Don't you dare ever say that. But I'm having a conversation on a show and covering all aspects, all opinions, and all avenues that we need to go down. We can't just look at it like some of you are saying, or some people are saying, he will never do this. This is Mohamed Salah coming out and saying he's ready to fight for the club and he's turned down lucrative offers. And I know, without doing the whole ITK gimmick, I know he's turned down heaps and heaps of money. Like literally heaps of money. Like I know a club bid 200 million for him on the last season. Yeah. And lucrative, not life-changing. What money can change his life even more? But you know what I mean? Generational wealth. So we know he's not that way inclined. But this is coming to the last contract of his career, and he's in a very powerful situation right now. No one can read his mind, guys. No one. Only Mohamed Salah and his close immediate family will know what he wants over the next 12 months. If he comes out and signs an extension, it will shut up all of the cynics and the haters and the doubters.
Yeah,
so we pray and hope that he does that from the political side of things. From a playing side of things, guys, I think he's been awful. I think he's been atrocious. I think his powers have waned. I think that injury has played a detrimental part in his mindset, as opposed to maybe not just physically, but mentally. Because when you pick up an injury like that, first leg injury in how many years I said in his whole career, it definitely plays a part. We've seen so many incidents of players that rely on dynamism, power, sharpness. You know, when you're hamstring and back player, you know what I mean? In Urdu, which I speak, people say kuch kuch hota hai. The South Asians and the people will know what I mean. Kuch kuch hota hai, man. When that happens, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, but I would love it. I would love it in Kevin Keegan style if he turned around and started the next season, because Mohamed, you make the opening point that you made in your opening monologue was about we can't have too much change. Because if we got other contracts that we need to address, Mohamed Salah leaving would be detrimental to this whole change with Klopp going and the second in charge or second in line in terms of legendary status, I'd say Klopp and then Mohamed Salah and then maybe Virgil. I don't know, whichever way you want to look at it. But you get my point.
Honestly, Chris, I think we've spoken a lot about Mohamed Salah, and of course it's a very important conversation to have. But there's a contract that concerns me even more, and that's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Ooh.
He's got 1 year left on his contract. 1 year left. He's 25 years old.
I think we can segue into Trent to finish off, guys. Let's segue into the Trent. Mohamed, go on.
Well, let's segue into Trent. So we've talked about Mohamed Salah, and of course there's loads of different avenues. We're not sure what Mohamed Salah and where he stands in terms of, does he want to play the club? I hope not, because that would be disgusting. Like, nobody can play my club. Do you know what I mean? I don't care if you're a legend or not. Don't do that. Sign a contract. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We're going to see over the next few weeks. But the Trent Alexander-Arnold contract is huge. This is ginormous. The lad's 25 years old. He's a generational football player. He is super, ultra talented, amazing football player. But he's only ever known Jurgen Klopp. He's only ever been managed by Jurgen Klopp. He's at a stage now where the next 5 years, he will be entering his peak. Maybe he's in his peak now, or he's been in it. Let's just say his peak is the next 5 years. So the next contract that he signs, he's going to want to be winning trophies. He's going to want to be competing for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, and not just on the off season, like one season we're competing, the next season we might not be. This is a much more important contract that we need to be discussing, because it scares me. With Arne Slot coming in, we've all said on this chat so far already that we do expect next season we might not win the league, and it's going to be a bit of a transition. But then hopefully we can push on and we can go for the title. How's Trent Alexander-Arnold going to be feeling about this? How's Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk going to be feeling about this? Who are also like on the tail end of their careers. But let's stick to Trent Alexander-Arnold, because Virgil's also a very interesting point. But I said it the other day. I was on a space on Twitter, and I said, this for me, Arne Slot, he's an unknown manager. I don't know nothing about him. I don't watch as much football as I used to 10 years ago to know about the Eredivisie final second place manager. I don't know much about him. But for me, his big litmus test is that Trent Alexander-Arnold contract. If in the summer he manages to convince, him and Michael Edwards managed to convince Trent Alexander-Arnold about this project, about this vision, that we're going to go on this journey, and we expect to win the Premier League, the Champions League by year 2, year 3, and that he's going to be the captain of his boyhood club, of his local team, of his local town, and he manages to sign that contract. Oof, I'm telling you now, that's already a big, massive tick in my box for Arne Slot, and I'm going to have a lot more confidence. However,
Yusuf?
On the flip side, if Trent this summer says, guys, I'm not going to be here, I want to go and play with Jude Bellingham and Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and, oh, mate, That's what I'm very concerned about. And I think, what do you guys think about the Trent
I
Alexander-Arnold
watched him on the overlap with Gary Neville, that interview.
Yeah.
And he asked him that specific question. He said, all I've ever known is Jurgen Klopp, and I owe everything to Jurgen Klopp. But also, he's a local lad. It's not as easy as a Mohamed Salah or Virgil van Dijk or somebody leaving. It's going to be it's going to be seismic, it's going to be epic of all proportions, if he tries to leave. So I think that works against him. But also, the fact that he doesn't want a transition period. So when you're talking about Arne Slot coming in and having a transitional top four finish, and that's what we're hoping for, he does not want that. He specifically said that we don't want a transitional period, because even though Jurgen Klopp's leaving, we still have players in there who have an elite mentality, who want to go and win every single year and push and title challenge and try and get all major honours, and we can't be sitting around for a year do you know what I mean, for no reason. So his mindset is that he wants it all. If we're not able to take, if the club's not in a position, or the team's not in a position to push for them top places, then there's a big question there, because I'm hearing through rumours that Real Madrid really want him. I don't think he'd be in a position to run down his contract. I think maybe he signs an extension, but it's not a 4-1 conclusion. To be honest, I think he stays. I think he doesn't go. That's my honest opinion. I think Mo Salah's more likely to go than Trent. Just because.
With that, I'll be honest with you.
I think he stays. I think Virgil, he stays as well. But the problem with Arne, and we're talking about Slot, is that he's unproven. He's only proved it in the Dutch league, and he's the head coach. But can he handle all of these kind of egos and all of these big name players?
Well, Yusuf, this is it. Rafa makes a point, Nasty, and he says, "Don't think Slot has a say in it. Those decisions will be made by Hughes and Edwards. Slot will be head coach to the players he has been given." But Mohamed also makes a good point that Trent will want to speak to the coach,
of course,
and have an idea of what's the plan. Because I think the position that Trent's going to be asked to perform or play in, I think that could be pivotal. Guys, I've had this nagging feeling, and I don't know Trent personally to know for sure, but it's just a feeling and just a hunch. I don't think he likes playing at right back anymore. I think in his head, in his mind, I think he's transitioned for the next 4 or 5 years as a midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for that one.
Yeah, go on, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree, Grace, with that last comment. That's all football is. It's opinions, isn't it? I think he likes the idea of nobody being behind him when he picks up the ball, so he can measure and do what he wants to do without the pressure. In Slot's, I think they took Slot on the basis that if you go and find the closest thing to Jurgen Klopp in terms of how you play, which is high press, win the ball back in advanced positions and create damage, they've been more successful at doing that than we have. There's 4 teams in Europe that have been really, really good at that, and they probably top the list. Liverpool's in that 4. They probably top the list in terms of aggressive press and win the ball back. So when we talk about we signed Mo Salah instead of Julian Brandt because the analytical team said, no, this is the guy you want because he does this, and this, and your guy doesn't do that, and that. So look, Mo Salah's your man. I think Slot tips the scales in his favour because he does all the things that Klopp does, with a slight change in the formation. He plays 1 behind 2 up front. So I think what they're trying to do is bring in the one that's the least disruptive to the game plan, so the players that are in the club at the moment have the least work to do to transition to a new game plan, if that makes sense. I think that their style of play is very similar. I also agree that whilst he will speak to the manager about what's his plan and what's his plan for him as an individual, that's not the guy that he speaks to about his contract and his role in the football club going forward. This is the guy that, if you're going to pay somebody £350,000, £400,000 a week to build your club around, this is the guy you do it with. The local lad, the generational talent, the guy that there's nobody in world football better with the ball at their feet. He can do everybody else's passing range. You don't see De Bruyne hitting 70-yard crossfield balls to feet. You don't see it happen. Man City's all about quick, incisive, round the corner passes, cut you open, and then get the ball into Haaland or whoever and they score. Trent is much quicker to spot out and see things, and often first-time passes, which are absolutely on the money. There's not another player in world football with that passing range. I'm genuinely convinced of that. There's more specialists in the final third that, like again, De Bruyne is insane, isn't he? The things he can do in the football. But in terms of everything, having all the clubs in your bag, Trent's your man, local lad, a good lad with the media, a marketing absolute gem for marketing. And we're back to the business side of things again, aren't we? The Scouser in the team brings out from the crowd every single week. He's a modern day Steven Gerrard in a football world that's changed massively. And you think, imagine Steven Gerrard in today's world, with football how it is now, his stardom would be off the scale, wouldn't it? Absolutely off the scale. And that's there for Trent. So I get the boys' comments on he's a local lad, might not want to leave. My worry would be Madrid. Fits into that game plan, doesn't he? Fits into what they
do.
There you go. Go back to Galacticos.
And he's the next Galactico. Like after Jude, in terms of talent, English talent, especially English talent, he is a Galactico, guys.
Yes.
This is the scary part.
But he needs to be a Galactico in a Liverpool shirt, mate. He needs to be the we always have one, don't we, that stands out above the rest. It was Dalglish, and then it was Gerrard, and then it was Suarez, and then it was now it's Salah. You look at these players and you think
by pointing where I'm coming from in regards to it being a litmus test for Arne Slot, and I understand the comments that Arne Slot's coming in as a head coach and he's not going to be involved in the contracty part of the side of the business, whatever. But that's going to be his head coach for the next 5 years, that contract. He's going to be working alongside Arne Slot week in, week out. He's going to be in the trenches with him when we go to the Etihad, when we go to Old Trafford, and when we go to Goodison Park, etc., across Europe. If Arne Slot cannot, of course they're going to have a conversation. He's going to have to have a conversation with his vice captain. And he's going to have to tell him about his vision and his plan and how he's going to play football, where he wants him to play. If Arne Slot is not able to convince Trent Alexander-Arnold, you're the man I'm going to build this team around, you are our Galactico, you are the modern-day Steven Gerrard, you're going to be the captain of Liverpool Football Club, and we're going to win everything together. If he can't do that, what position and how will you feel with Arne Slot?
It's not that though, is it? It's not just what's on the pitch. It's you are the face of Liverpool Football Club. You are the future of Liverpool Football Club. These guys are financially motivated as well, and Trent's got everything in his locker to go and be on every single billboard to do anything to do with Liverpool Football Club for the next 6 or 7 years to grow massively commercially, which is what they. Listen, they wouldn't be moving from Under Armour to Adidas boots if he wasn't interested in commercial deals. He wouldn't be interested in growing his own brand. There's a bit more to it now. Years ago, it was just like play football on a Saturday afternoon in a Liverpool shirt, win trophies, have a laugh. Now there's a lot more to it. Now it's become a lot more, it's higher profiles, a lot more goes on in the media, isn't there? You can't open Twitter without seeing comments about this player or that player from whatever fan base it is. And we should be sitting down with this guy saying, the future of Liverpool Football Club is you. And that's not just on the pitch. It's the brand. It's the billboards. It's the marketing, the PR, and all that stuff is you. That's what Bellingham's going to be at Real Madrid. 100%. That's what Bellingham's going to be at Real Madrid. That's what, you look at other teams, that's what Haaland's been to some degree, where he's been. That's what Kevin De Bruyne is. You got to make them that big. You got to make him that big a star. And that conversation has to happen before the season starts. We can't be 6 months into the season when it's going okay, when we sit down with Trent and say, what do you think? And he says, well, actually, it's not so great on the football pitch. I want to sit off and have a think about it. Those conversations that I guarantee you have started already with Trent. Absolutely, they've started with Trent. Michael Edwards will be all over it, because you cannot lose. That's losing a star who could be as big as any star in Liverpool's history. You just can't go down that route. That's started.
12 months.
12 months as well.
How much is left of Salah's contract? 12 months.
12 months as well.
Next January, he can talk to people.
2 years.
And Virgil's.
No, it's Virgil's 2 years. He's 20.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
What about Alisson?
27.
3 years.
And if Salah resigns, VVD resigns, Trent resigns, What are they on at the minute? You're looking at 200, 300, between 200 and 300 grand a week. That's what they're on at the minute.
Yeah, but we got Tiago's wages coming off. We're going to go into sort of this. Look, I think we can do more shows on this.
Okay.
Sort of potentially. I think it's time to call it a day. I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten as well. Yeah, so I'm going to get angry, innit? I'm going to get angry. If I haven't eaten, I'm going to start getting hangry. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
I just want to say nice one, Grizz, for today. Appreciate it.
It's not a problem, guys. This is the platform for the
Thank you,
community.
Steph.
This platform will be for the community. So obviously we'll have certain. There you go. This I want to see that smile, Mohammed. I want to see that, bro. It can't end the way it ended on West Ham.
Let's put a smile on everyone's faces. This man has brought us so much joy.
Honestly,
So much
man.
joy,
So much
everyone.
joy.
We
Yeah,
love
man.
him to bits.
Do you know
And
what?
let's enjoy these last 3
Let's
games.
just enjoy it, man.
The next show we've got to have a Mohammed Salah mask as well, and then
Yeah.
sort of them
That might
two
be his
hugging it
thing.
out, man.
Just different masks
Shall
every week.
I fill you in with a little bit of a secret? I only bought this a couple of weeks ago. Well, like 6 weeks ago,
Oh, don't
thinking
say
there's going to be a parade in the summer after we win the Premier League. But it is what it is. I'm keeping this forever.
Listen, let's not give up. There might be a parade, but it wouldn't be for the Carabao Cup. It would be for in memory of Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool, more so than the Carabao Cup. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already joined the membership, it's free. There's no catches. I'm not going to start charging you after 1 month. Nothing like that. It's just free. Just click the link, join, and join in the chat. Guys, the few of you asked to join and then you pulled out. You don't need to have your camera on. You can be as ugly as me. You can have a voice for shows instead. It's not a problem. Come in, chat to us, give us your opinions. Our opinion is not the gospel. We want to share as many opinions across the platform, give as many people the chance. Liverpool fans, it don't even have to be a Liverpool fan per se. I'm going to start doing general football chats and shows as well. But Yusuf, thank you very much for calling in, and of course Steve and Mohammed. We will hopefully do more of these. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. Technical issues, guys, forgive us for technical issues. Like if you're on the YouTube, subscribe if you're on the playback, and hopefully I can end this like without anything going wrong. I just press end event. I think there's a button that says end event. I'm going to press it right now.